Alright, so the plan here is that I'm not going to make you learn everything all at once because I don't think I can do that. What I'm trying to do is just show you one piece at a time. We of course know how to wrap up once we have everything in parentheses, but I want to get you closer to that area and just kind of show you some skills that you need to get this done. Looking at the example problems, I'm not going to start there, but I am going to go ahead and walk through all these here. What I suggest you do, especially if you have not already done it and you're kind of using me to help you walk through it, is that once you think you know how to do it just a little bit, is pause the video. Like, you might follow me for 2 or 3 questions, but once you get to a certain point, pause the video, try it, and then go back and see how you did. In this problem, the numbers were -4 and +5, and so what you are supposed to do is simply ignore the squared part as if it wasn't there, and simply take this and put it over both of these numbers. So x over -4, x over +5, and then you're supposed to say, of course you can't reduce this because 1 over 4 does not reduce, 1 over 5 does not reduce, and you simply take and put this in a parentheses as it is, x minus 4 and x plus 5. That would be how you do number 1. So again, it's very basic, very straightforward. You just have to make sure you are being careful and just learning this skill. If you learn this skill, the next thing that we do, I can kind of build you closer to that. So again, this is not putting pressure on anything. It's just us making sure that we're slowly learning the skills necessary to factor. So again, we have another problem, 2x squared minus 3x minus 9. And then you give me +3 and -6. Again, what you want to do skill-wise on this step, once you have the numbers, is ignore this squared and look only at the 2x and put 2x over each of those numbers. Well, 2 over 3 cannot be reduced, so we leave that alone. But 2 and 6 can both be divided by 2, and so when you divide 2 by 2, you get 1x. We just don't write the 1. 6 divided by 2 is -3. So again, 2 over 6 reduces to 1 over -3. From there, now that you have this reduced, you simply put this one in parentheses, 2x plus 3, and the other one as reduced form, x minus 3. Now the easy way to check that is that 2x times x is 2x squared, which is what it's supposed to be, and that 3 times -3 is 9. That's how you know you reduced it right. Because if you would have accidentally put 2x plus 3 2x minus 6, once you go to check that, 2x times 2x is actually 4x squared, and 3 times 6 is actually 18, so you would know that something was off whenever you did that. Alright, so other than that, number 3 has 4x squared minus 11x plus 6 with the numbers -3, -8. Again, ignore the squared. Put 4x over the first number, put 4x over the second number. This is reduced. These can both be divided by 4. 4, again, once it becomes a 1, don't write the 1, just put x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. -2, which means your second one is x minus 2. Again, doing a quick check, 4x times x, 4x squared, -3 times -2, +6. So you know you did it right. Okay. So again, at this point, what you want to do is just take a moment, if you before you start this video, and try number 4 as I'm writing this. So again, take this, try it, and then unpause the video once you've done it. If this is your answer key, then that's fine, but like I said, if you're working this out with me as you go, try this out again, see how far you get, see what you do, and then check yourself after you finish to make sure you did it right. But remember again that you want to ignore the x squared. Simply put the x over -4, then you put the x over +6, giving us x minus 4 and x plus 6 as our answers there. Number 5, again, if you have not done this already, pause the video. I'm going to count to 3 and give you a chance to do that. Pause the video and Do what you think you know you're supposed to do, and then check your answer. But what you should do is ignore the squared. 2x goes over 1. 2x also goes over 14. This is reduced. Both of these can be divided by 2, and so you end up with 1x. Again, don't write the 1 over 7. This ends up being 2x plus 1. This ends up being x plus 7. Let me write that better. And in the end, 2x times x is 2x squared. 1 times 7, positive 7, so you know you did it right. Alright. 9x squared minus 8x minus 1 with positive 1, negative 9. Again, I will teach you how to do the numbers as we continue, but I've just got to make sure we at least work on small skills. I figured this skill was simple enough to do. Again, pause this video, try it out until you finish, and then unpause it to see how you did. Ignore the squared. 9x over 1. 9x, negative 9. This is reduced. Both of these can be divided by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 9 divided by 9 is 1. So there you go there. That reduces to x over negative 1. So this makes 9x plus 1 and x minus 1 there. Again, 9x times x, 9x squared. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And that's all that you're expected to be able to do. 7. Turn my page here. Pause it for a second. Make sure you try it out first. Ignore the square. Really don't have to keep crossing that out, but you want to make sure that you at least understand that you are supposed to just leave that as 3x. And so 3x over 2 can't reduce. 3x over 6, yep, both of these can be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Ending up with 3x minus 2 and x plus 2. And the next question, again, pause it, finish it. I'm not going to scribble it out this time because I already get the pattern. Again, you don't have to do everything that is done in the beginning once you kind of get it down. So I'm going to put 8x over negative 1. I'm going to put 8x over negative 16. I'm going to recognize that this is reduced. I'm going to recognize that this 8 actually goes into 16, which means 8 divided by 8 is 1. 16 divided by 8 is negative 2. Giving me the answers of 8x minus 1 and x minus 2. Next part, again, pause it for a moment if you haven't finished it already. But you should be putting x over 2, x over negative 10. Neither one of these can be reduced, which means your answers are x plus 2, x minus 10. And the last one before we get ready to go. Again, pause that if you haven't done it already. But we should be putting x over negative 1, x over 6. Neither one can be reduced. X minus 1, x plus 6. As I said, we will be working on these skills all next week. We'll probably start with this skill again on Monday. So I hope you have that down. And as long as you are getting more and more used to this process, you will eventually figure out that finding these numbers, I know I'm giving you my own process, but I'm actually going to discuss different ways to do it next week so that you can try to get better at doing whatever you need to do to get it done. Again, factoring just seems very complicated, but really it's just kind of like solving a puzzle, as I said earlier, and you just have to kind of approach it with the idea of exploring for the answer instead of just the answer being there. It just takes work. It's not tough, but it does take work. So good job, and like I said, see you next week.